John Hughes movies from the 1980s are a great source of nostalgia, with one film from 1987 being essentially a reworked version of a classic from the previous year. This prolific comedy writer is known for penning numerous hilarious adult comedies such as National Lampoon's Vacation and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. However, it was his heartwarming coming of age stories that truly made him famous. Prior to the 1980s, teen movies were not uncommon, but they often fell into two categories: either adult oriented, raunchy sex comedies, or serious dramas focusing on the potential threats posed by adolescents to society, uh, or in people. Hughes effectively encapsulated the spirit of teenagers in the 1980s, weaving intricate tales that celebrated youth while subtly imparting wisdom about maturity. John Hughes films were marked by contemporary music and styles, significantly contributing to the enduring iconic representation of 1980s popular culture. While Hughes didn't direct many of his most renowned works, his storytelling talent was evident even when he wasn't in the director's chair, and he occasionally revisited successful ideas for new narratives. Some of Hughes' concepts were so powerful that they deserved repetition. And one of his 80s masterpieces can be considered a remake. Um, some Kind of Wonderful hits, All the Same, Beats is Pretty in Pink. The 1987 movie borrows a lot from the 1986 cult classic. The second movie switches the roles of the genders while still exploring a love triangle. And Eric Stoltz and Amanda start a relationship. But Keith's friend, Watts, Mary Stuart Masterson, harbors hidden feelings. Um, Despite some minor alterations, the fundamental theme remains consistent between the two films. In simpler terms, of Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful delve into the heartaches of young love without lecturing or oversimplifying emotions. And furthermore, they ensure that their trio of characters are relatable and free from stereotypical villains. The initial ending of the movie, Pretty in Pink, was altered because audiences disliked Andy ending up with Ducky. Instead, she ended up with Blaine. However, director John Hughes later used the original ending for Some Kind of Wonderful. And thus, while both films delve into similar themes, they present contrasting conclusions to mirror diverse real life experiences that, in essence, they can be seen as alternate interpretations of a common idea. Some Kind of Wonderful is more complex than Pretty in Pink. Um, Some Kind of Wonderful is a little rougher around the edges. Though both movies share a similar theme, their overall mood significantly differs. Pretty in Pink maintains John Hughes' signature optimism even amidst heartache, while Some Kind of Wonderful leans more towards a subdued, melancholic tone, still retaining the typical traits of the 80s teen movies. In Pretty in Pink, Andy is smitten with Blaine, and her feelings for Ducky are rooted in friendship rather than romantic interest. And there's conversely, Keith develops feelings for Amanda, but ultimately realizes that it's Watts he truly desires. This intensifies the conflict as it portrays a genuine love triangle, not one skewed heavily towards one party, right? Um, Regardless of the outcome, and some kind of wonderful heartache is unavoidable and there's no escape from it. To lessen the sting of Ducky's rejection at the end of Pretty in Pink, a brief scene was included showing another woman showing interest in him. It was, on the other hand, Amanda intelligently recognizes that Keith belongs with Watts and decides to let him go so he can be content, even though it causes her pain. In contrast to Pretty in Pink, Some Kind of Wonderful delivers a more heartwarming conclusion by satisfying the audience's anticipation. Ducky and Andy aren't meant for each other romantically, so his rejection is less distressing. On the other hand, Amanda and Keith shared an undeniable connection, which means there will be sorrow no matter who he ends up with. Moreover, Watts shows unwavering support for Keith throughout the film, making it apparent that his decision to be with her was the best one. John Hughes skillfully used these films to convey distinct messages despite their similar narratives.